solid and a liquid component, okay? So that solid is our butter fat or your cream in your milk, which we use for things like ice cream and butter, okay? And so we don't want it to separate out at the grocery store, so a lot of your milk is homogenized. You guys ever seen that on your milk carton? Homogenized. Have you guys ever went to the grocery and seen all the different colored caps on your milk? Yeah, so it's homogenized. We're breaking up that butter fat content so that it doesn't separate out, so it looks prettier on a grocery store shelf, and you guys get options of what tastes good, okay? You don't have to shake your milk up when you get ready to drink it because it's ready to rock and roll straight out of the refrigerator when we bottle it, okay? You guys can just pull it out, do what you need to, just make sure you put it back in the refrigerator so it lasts to its expiration date, okay? And then we must remember, our dairy farmers are working very, very hard to take care of our cows, okay? So it doesn't matter if it's snowing, raining, hot, cold, thunderstorms, birthdays, Christmases, holidays, milk every single day, no matter what. What do you think would happen to Miss Becca if we just woke up tomorrow and said, I don't want to milk cows no more? It would hurt. You're exactly right. It would start to hurt, okay? Because she's going to have all that milk that she's worked so hard to make, and we're just going to leave it there. Okay? It could also cause her to get really sick. Okay? If a cow's not milked out like she's supposed to, milk can go bad in her udder, the same way it sometimes can go bad in our refrigerator. Okay? And so we have to make sure she stays super healthy. Also, we want access to that product. Okay? If we're not using it, we use it. We lose it. Okay? If we're not using it, we lose it. Very good job. Okay? And so we want to make sure that we're taking very good care of those cows because she's working hard to make it for us. So we want to help her do exactly what she's supposed to. Okay? So I'm going to give you guys, let's say, 5 more minutes. We'll do 5 questions. How's that? Okay? Do 5 questions and then we'll let you go inside. Yes, ma'am. How do we know what the expiration date is? That's a very, very important question. So you guys know how your expiration date's never the same on some of your milk? It's because when we pasteurize it, we're also testing your milk to determine its shelf life, okay? So when we're testing all of our products that come in, we do test it to see how long it's going to last and what our bacteria content is so that we can give it the right expiration date. We have to remember, milk is a natural product, okay? And so it's not going to last us forever. And so we want to make sure that you guys are drinking it and finishing it before it goes bad. And so our expiration date is determined as we test it, okay? Yes? We do not. We give her free choice all the time. Mainly because the more water she drinks, okay, it helps her regulate her body temperature because cows don't sweat like we do, okay? And so they need a little bit of help to stay cool. That's why the fan's been running this entire time to kind of keep movement in there so that she stays cool. So we try not to limit it. Now, we do only feed an X amount morning and night so that we're not wasting it, though, okay? What do you think is the most expensive cost in caring for our cows? $24. Not a number. What do you think is going to cost us the most? Food. Hay and food. You're exactly right, okay? And so that's one of those things that we don't want to waste. So we're only going to feed them what they can handle. We usually don't have to limit it. Usually we have a little bit of what's left over, okay, to make sure we can use it for something else. But we try not to. Yep. We do see they can eat a lot of different foods, mainly based on where they live at. Okay, you have to remember the climate or the weather is a little bit different when you start looking at different parts of the United States, and so we do change their diet up based on where they live at. And so for our cows here, we feed a lot of distillers grain because there's a lot of bottling companies around here. We feed a lot of corn because that's easy to grow here. But like the further south you go, we use a lot more cottonseed because that's where a lot of your cotton is grown. And then as you move out west, they're going to grow more like citrus-based foods that we can put in their diet. So it all is depending on where they live at and what they need to make sure they're maintaining their body weight and their health. But they're going to work very hard for us. But usually we mix up all kinds of different foods based on both the season. So like Miss Becca right now, it's almost summertime, okay? And so what we're feeding right now is a small grain-based diet. And then this summer, or this winter, when it's cold outside, we're going to feed more of a corn-based diet. It's going to have a higher fat content to it. So it's all going to change based on the weather, based on where we live, and what we have access to. She's not going to do that. She is potty trained, okay? I do ask her, or she does usually go back into her stall and use the restroom back there, so you're usually not going to see it. However, she can sometimes make a liar out of me too. But for the most part, we appreciate that she likes her privacy because it makes things a little bit cleaner.
What's the most a cow has. If you get a cow, how much?
If you bought a cow, what's the most expensive cow? Is that what you're asking? Well,
In all time.
of all time, I think the largest syndicated cow brought just over $1 million. Yes, sir. Yes, yes, yes. So we're going to see that they can be pretty expensive. I did not pay that much money for Miss Becca, even though I think she's worth it at this point. But we see that our cows can range from all over the place, depending on what they're going to do for us. Yes?
How old were cows exactly?
So in cow years, it just depends. Normally we say their average life expectancy is 10 to 12 years. So you would say about, what, 10 times 120 to 140 in cow years? It's really old if you put it in numbers like that. But 10 to 12 years is about our average life expectancy for our cows. Yeah.
Is one of their stomachs like a dairy stomach?
We have we base it off her rumen, which is going to be her largest stomach compartment. That's how kind of things are named. And that's what stores all of that base food. So as she eats and eats and eats, it's just going to hold that food. And then the rest of her stomachs, stretching things out, the rest of her stomachs are going to digest similar to ours. Okay? But she should not be eating a lot of dairy in terms of her food. She should drink more water. She's not going to drink a lot of milk because that can actually cause her belly to start hurting. Yes, ma'am. How many cows do I have? So personally, I only own about 5. But our dairy farmer that cares for Rebecca milks 170 cows twice a day. Okay, that's how many he milks. So that's how many. That's not including all of our dry cows that are going to have babies, all of our baby calves. I think we counted one day and we're sitting at about 350 to 400 animals total on our dairy farm at home. Okay, let's do one more question. We go down here to the end. What do you got?
How old were you when you started taking care of cows?
I've been taking care of cows my entire life. I actually was born to a couple dairy farmers, and so we have grown up milking cows. But we sold out our milking herd about a little over 5 years ago, in January of 2019, and then 3 weeks later, Miss Becca started traveling with me. So I've been doing this for a little over 5 years. It's a lot of fun. It's a little different, okay? Definitely not a career that you would just it's just one of those that you stumble across, and I love it. I love getting to hang out with her, hang out with you guys. She does a very good job up here. When she retires, she's probably going to live in my backyard because I have more pictures of this cow on my cell phone than I do any of my family. Okay, so she's going to hang out with us at home to finish out her lifespan with us, okay? Guys, you have done an absolute phenomenal job. I do appreciate how well you guys have been today. I know that it's the end of the school year and you're almost out, but you guys have done a very, very good job, okay? As you guys get ready to leave, please leave your chairs, okay? Leave the chairs if you're sitting in the back 2 rows because we're going to use those for the rest of the day. When you stand up, please be mindful of fingers and toes, okay? We want everyone